Hey guys, what's up? It's Death Soul here, bringing you guys a new video. So today, I wanted to be bringing you a video because recently I have been taking a break from shooters and playing a lot of MMORPGs. And so, I know that a lot of you guys probably want to start getting into MMORPGs too. Otherwise, you wouldn't have clicked on this video. And so I'm going to talk about which MMO is right for you. Now, I know a lot of people are gonna say, World of Warcraft, obviously, because it's the most popular. But is it really the kind of MMO you want? Is the way World of Warcraft play your kind of MMO? Personally, out of the 5 I'm going to mention in this video, I really like them all. But it's kind of like what I like the most of them. I each like something particular about them. And if you guys look for a MMO that has something another has, I'm gonna tell you guys which one you should pick. So the 5 MMOs I'm going to mention in this video are The Elder Scrolls Online, Star Wars The Old Republic, Guild Wars 2, Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, and World of Warcraft. The 5 most popular. Yeah, 2 are also available on consoles, and those games are Elder Scrolls Online and Final Fantasy XIV, while Guild Wars 2, Star Wars The Old Republic, and World of Warcraft are only available on PC. So, without further ado, I'm gonna get started. This isn't really a professional review. This is just my recommendation of what MMO you should try out. So, first off, I'm gonna compare 2 things. Free to play, or not really free to play, but having to pay a monthly fee, or not having to pay a monthly fee. Now, 2 games that utilize having a monthly fee are World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV. You need to have a subscription to play this game, or else you can't. I know Star Wars The Old Republic and Elder Scrolls Online also have a membership, but they aren't necessary. You used to have a membership, but you don't anymore. I mean, they still have memberships, but what they do is they give you a monthly allowance of, crowns or cartel coins. Kinda as a way of saying, we're still gonna make this membership thing useful, but you don't have to have it anymore. And you get all the DLC with it too, but again, you don't always need it. I wouldn't, in those types of games where you don't need a membership but you can still get one, I'd rather wait until you've reached max level and you're relying on DLC right now. If that's the case, then either buy the DLC or get the monthly subscription. Now, with monthly subscriptions in games like World of Warcraft, it depends. Do you want to pay $15 a month to play it, or $60 for every 2 months to play it? The thing you might be worrying about if you do decide to use a monthly subscription is, okay, well, I have to play this game because I gotta make the most of my membership, because you paid $15. So you gotta make the most of what you get. But that is kind of true for some games that, World of Warcraft, for example, it's been kind of lacking in content, I've heard, for a while. I'm not sure if Legion is gonna fix that, but I've heard that Final Fantasy XIV has been having, frequent updates to add new content for players who are still subscribed. And that's really good, because Square Enix is finding a way to keep their audience entertained. So, without further ado, I'm gonna start comparing all the MMORPGs. So, here we go. I'm gonna start off first with The Elder Scrolls Online, which is honestly one of my favorite games right now. The Elder Scrolls Online it's a lot different than most MMOs out there. You'd expect it to be kind of similar to the standard MMORPG, but it's not. I mean, the negative thing about it is you can't have as many keys when you're attacking someone. You have a limit to 5 action keys. Although a good thing is that it's more simplistic in a way. And the thing about it that might draw people's attention is it's a lot... The classes in the game are like... Most games have a number of 8 classes, which sounds like a lot, but they only do certain things. Like, they're kind of limited in a way. Like, there's... I don't know, a warrior, a paladin, a ranger, a thief, an assassin, blah 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 blah. But with Elder Scrolls Online, there's like only 4 classes you can choose from, and those are the Dragon Knight, the Sorcerer, the Nightblade, and the Templar. And you want to know something? Okay, Warrior isn't associated with Dragon Knight, so if you want to play the Knight class, play whatever class you want. Dragon Knight doesn't mean warrior. Nightblade doesn't mean thief or assassin. Like, you can play the game, play the class however you want. Like, you could be like a mage that's wielding a bow and arrow in heavy armor. Like a sorcerer that's in heavy armor with a bow and arrow. Do whatever the hell you want. And the races you can choose from are just so interesting. And if you like Elder Scrolls lore and like if you want it to feel like you're playing an Elder Scrolls game as well. And it has a lot of single-player content too, so if you like to play MMOs alone, like, I know it's kinda... MMOs are meant to be played with friends, but if you want to play alone, that's fine too. Elder Scrolls Online's got you prepared for that. And it's a really good game. It's also on PS4 and Xbox One as well. It actually works pretty well on the Xbox One and PS4. Like, it shows us that MMOs can work on consoles. The thing is, we just gotta find out a way how, which is actually gonna be one of my next topics when I get to Final Fantasy XIV. So, yeah, overall, like, the short answer would be, if you want an MMO that kind of feels like an action RPG, kind of like it's more than just your regular run-of-the-mill RPG. Like, you want to have a fair amount of single-player content, then I would recommend that you go for Elder Scrolls Online. So the next game I'm going to be talking about is Star Wars: The Old Republic. Now, this game kind of opened up to some mixed reviews when it came out, because at first you had to pay for the game and have a monthly membership, but I think BioWare realized that they were losing subscribers, so they decided to make the game free to play with no subscription required. And I think that boosted up the numbers, but apparently it's still better to play with a subscription. But this is the kind of game you would like to try out if you liked Mass Effect or Dragon Age and you like the story of Star Wars. Like, if you like the movies and like the whole Jedi versus Sith thing, and you want a game that's kind of different from, like, this game's genre is a lot different from most games genre. Like, I don't know, most MMORPGs are kind of based on medieval fantasy type. This is more like science fiction space kind of thing. And it doesn't stop it from removing some of the things that we all know and like about our old RPGs. Like, it's still got the kind of like warrior class. Well, more specifically the Sith warrior. It's like, you have the Jedi Knights or Sith warriors, which are your standard like melee type classes. Like, if you want to go for a knight or like a warrior, well, specifically, but if you just want the melee offense kind of character or the tank, the Jedi Knight and Sith Warrior are your guys. Okay, the Jedi Consular and the Sith Inquisitor are kind of like the mages, or the assassins of the game. Troopers and Imperial agents are kind of like, I don't know, the soldiers, I guess? Like, they're kind of like soldiers and in a way archers, and bounty hunters and smugglers are kind of like the rogue type characters. I guess that would be more considered archer. I'm not even sure how to describe it, but yeah. And it has a great story as well. Like, you've got 8 different classes, which means 8 different stories, like, for the game. And if you want a game that has an MMORPG that has a story, and like, let's say you want to buy The Witcher 3. Don't get me wrong, The Witcher 3 is good, or Dragon Age. Why spend $60 for that when you can play, I don't know, the classes stories for free? They're about, like, I think as long. I'm not trying to diss them. Not trying, like, to diss them at all, but I'm just saying, it's a good class story. Like, Star Wars The Old Republic has a great storyline for an MMORPG, which we don't see a lot, honestly. And sorry for kind of like the stuttering right there, but I think in the short answer, Star Wars The Old Republic is your kind of MMO if you want something that's kind of different in a way from most genres, and to have a story that you'll enjoy as much as you will as it being an MMORPG. Next up, talking about Guild Wars 2. At first, I didn't really like this game because of the fact that, I don't know, I just didn't like leveling up to level 10. It just felt kind of boring and bland, but once I realized, once you get to level 10 and kind of unlock most of the stuff that you need to start out in an MMORPG, I realized that this game is actually pretty fucking fun. And it's a lot different, again, a lot different. It's free to play, no subscription required like Star Wars The Old Republic. And what I really like about this game that's not common in a lot of MMORPGs is it's very action-oriented. Like, the thing I didn't like about some MMORPGs were kind of like how you couldn't move when you're casting an ability. Like, I know it would sound kind of silly for a mage to like walk around when casting like a spell on someone or something, but the thing that's really cool is it not only feels like you're playing an MMORPG, it feels like you're playing an actual action-based game as well. Like, it feels kind of like a hack and slash in a way, or a game that uses very melee action-oriented combat. I mean, like, for rangers and mages, I honestly don't know because I haven't played as either or. I haven't really played as a mage or a hunter, or ranger, sorry, that's what they're called. Elementalist and ranger. There's a lot of classes you can choose from, and each race starts off differently. And that's something that's pretty interesting. Like, I know World of Warcraft does the same thing where you have a certain starting zone for your character, but the story kind of changes in Guild Wars 2 for your race. Like, let's say if you have a Sylvari, your race will be your race's story will be different. If you have a Norn, your character's story will be different, and so on and so on. But anyways, the game is really good. I haven't been able to play much of the story, to be fair, but I do like it. It's a great MMORPG for those who want something that's action-oriented. It has an amazing PvP as well. Like, it's probably the best MMO PvP at the moment. So, if you wanna go for Guild Wars 2, here are some good reasons why. Alright, so 3 down. Now I'm going to explain the last 2, Final Fantasy XIV and World of Warcraft. I'm gonna start off with Final Fantasy XIV, just after I have a sip of water. Alright, so Final Fantasy XIV. Now, when this game first came out, it received absolutely negative reviews. Like, it was a shit show, people said. And after seeing some of the gameplay of it and the way it was, I wouldn't be surprised that it is. Like, it was god-awful, but when they released the new update and remade the entire game, which was labeled as A Realm Reborn, it was really A Realm Reborn. It was completely different in a good way, and it showed us, like, remember how when I was talking about Elder Scrolls Online, I was gonna say how it proved to us that MMOs could be possible on consoles? Well, it is. It came out for PS3 and PS4, and kind of like what it does, so it's not particularly limited in a way, is you use a controller, and whenever you want to hold it or do an attack, you hold down the right trigger or R2, because like you can use Xbox controllers on the PC. A little menu comes up, and it has all of the buttons that are on kind of like your button pad, and you can also use your D-pad for attacks too. So like if you want to like hold down the right trigger and set down some attacks or buffs to your buttons, go right ahead. It also works for the left trigger as well, so like right trigger for attacks, and like hold down the right trigger so you can press the attacks on your buttons and D-pad, and left trigger for like the buffs and stuff. And you can switch sets, which makes this game more simple than it looks on a controller. I mean, it's still good on a keyboard, but it's pretty awesome on a keypad. Wait, did I say controller or keypad? It's both good on a controller and keyboard, and it's such a great membership. It relies on a monthly subscription, but as I said, it keeps players updated. It also has, I also like the species you can choose in the game. Like, they all look really cool. Like, the Lalafell look kind of silly, but I really like the lore and the story of the game. Like, if you like Final Fantasy overall, you'll definitely like this game. The only problems I have with it is you can't really... There's not a lot of interesting choices as DPS classes. Like, I didn't like how they locked off the rogue for, like, level 10s. Like, what I didn't like is how, like, I had to start off as Pugilist, which is, like, one of the DPS classes. I despise the Pugilist. It's, like, hand-to-hand based combat. And I realized I started in the wrong place, which meant that it's going to be even harder to become a rogue. But don't let that deter you. If you find the right class for you, Final Fantasy XIV is still an amazing game, and it has a good story too. Like, I've played a bit of the story. It's really fun. Like, the story's pretty neat, and you'll get a lot of the references it references, because if you're a die-hard Final Fantasy fan, you'll love this game. So, I would recommend this game to those who want kind of like a Final Fantasy MMORPG. Like, Final Fantasy defined the RPG genre, and not a lot of MMOs out there have kind of like Japanese Eastern kind of style. Like, it feels different from the Western MMORPGs, or just RPGs in general. And yeah, if you want a game that's different like that, then the previously mentioned, I'm sorry guys, but yeah, Final Fantasy XIV is a definitely recommended game. I haven't got a chance to check out Heaven's Sword yet, but it looks good. But yeah, Final Fantasy, definitely recommend it for anime fans. Alright, so last but not least, World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft, the game that defined the genre of MMORPGs. What can I say about this game? Other than the fact that it's just incredible. Now, there's a lot of negative things people say about this game. Like, not really something that MMORPG players would say, but kind of like people that have never played a video game in their life. Like, they say, oh, this game is addictive, this game will ruin your life, this game is for nerds who never leave their mother's basement. Like, people who say those things are just stupid. Like, I'm gonna be honest and blunt right now. People who say that have likely never played a video game in their life and have honestly just never, I don't even know how to say it, but World of Warcraft, it is addictive, but no much so. It's not more addictive than CSGO would be or Call of Duty. See, World of Warcraft is the game. I don't even know what to say about World of Warcraft. It's an amazing game, and there's just so much you can explore in the game and do in the game. Now, I know World of Warcraft is kind of a grinding-based game, so like, in order to level up, you're gonna have to grind a lot. And for those of you who don't know what grinding is, it's where you have to do a particular task on end for hours. Well, not specifically, but it usually means you have to do the same thing over and over. Like, for example, Destiny players sometimes grind a raid to get the loot that they want, but fuck Destiny, let's be honest here. But yeah, World of Warcraft. Oh, I forgot to mention, there's 2 alliances or factions. The Alliance being one of them and the Horde being the other. And there's at least, I'm not sure, is there like 10 or 8 classes? There's a lot of classes in the game allowing you to play all kinds of play styles you wish to play as. So, I don't really know what to say about World of Warcraft in the long run, but in the short answer, I would say I would go for World of Warcraft if you want to play the MMO that defined MMOs, like the one that started it all and the one made by the Unstoppable. But nah, seriously, World of Warcraft is truly amazing. It's not my favorite MMO, but I do really like it. Definitely go for it if you want a game that will, like, it's released at least 5 expansions. They're releasing a new one this summer. If you want a game that a game that you will never get tired of and you'll just keep playing for as long as you keep playing games, then World of Warcraft's your choice. But I'm not saying World of Warcraft's better. Like, you've got to pay monthly subscriptions. It's kind of lacking in single-player content. Although, the negative thing about World of Warcraft is the community in WoW isn't really as friendly as the previously mentioned ones. Like, ESO has some bad players too, especially if you're in the Ebonheart pack. Oh, speaking of which, I forgot to mention the alliances you can choose from in ESO and Star Wars. So, in ESO, you can choose 3 factions: the Daggerfall Covenant, the Aldmeri Dominion, and the Ebonheart Pact. And in Star Wars The Old Republic, you can choose the Jedi Republic and the Sith Empire. So, that's all I have to say. Anyways, guys, I hope you all liked this video. Be sure to give a like if you like it and subscribe for more content like this. Let me know if you found this guide helpful or not in deciding which MMO is right for you. But anyways, guys, I will see you guys later. Death Soul out.